In the previous episode, we dug this really big hole for a really super duper secret project. We then proceeded to cover it with a foundation, and then we ended up locking it behind this door. We then proceeded to build some cobble generators that feed into this new glass factory we built that's been creating so much glass that we've ended up with 65,000 glass already. But this farm is really messy and creates a lot of clay as byproduct. So in this episode, we're going to turn that waste into terracotta and build ourselves a massive terracotta factory. But before we can build this terracotta factory, we need to clean up the area behind us, flatten out the land, plan a foundation, and get to a few suggestions made in the previous episode. So the first recommendation we received was by Clockwork Giant, who recommended that even though this looks cool, maybe we can add some form of roof to the structure. So let me quickly change it up a bit, add a few more blocks, and then we'll see what it looks like. And now it has a roof over it. I have to admit it looks pretty big, but I do think it's a perspective thing, because if you're standing right under it, it does still feel a bit high, but it feels a lot more normal. So that's another thing off of our to-do list. The next question I asked was about this window in front of the factory, and I received so many suggestions. I tried a bunch of them in creative, and in the end, the suggestion that looked the best in this area is via Plasma. Plasma, thank you for the suggestion. So let's quickly get that built. So we need to first rip out some of these. We're going to remove this one. We're going to bring some bricks out, just like that. And then we're going to fill this with iron window panes running all the way down. So I did like the idea of the colored window because I thought it will just show that this is a glass factory. But I agree, this looks a lot better. But now the next thing we need to do is put in the foundation for the next factory. No, not the door. The new factory over here. The one we're going to build right over there. So let's quickly plonk down the schematic. So this is the schematic, and I placed it, positioned it in precisely the correct place, and it's pretty big. So our whole factory should fit in that area, which, if that is done, allows for another little factory on this side. But we won't know until we see what materials we need and until we build this. So let's quickly see what materials we need for this project. So if I plonk in my schematic and add my clipboard, then we can see we need quite a few blocks. It's mainly stones, andesites and stuff like that, and a few torches. So I'm going to gather all of this up, add it to the barrels, and then we'll do a little schematic build montage. And now we have our little platform in here, and it's ready for our next factory. So the main idea is to take cobble from the existing 2 cobble gens because they are turned off due to them being full, and then just tapping into that and transporting that over this little area over here into this factory over here. So we'll have, like, again, storage over here. We'll have double crushing wheel systems like we have over there to turn all that cobble into sand, and then in this vault, I think we'll put a vault over here. We'll get sand and clay, and then it will continue down this line where sand will be washed to become more clay, and it will come into this area where I think we'll have clay, and in the clay balls we need to compress into clay blocks, and clay blocks need to be baked into terracotta. So I think that's the way we need to go. Cobble on that side, and thus we work in a clockwise motion to this side. But before we can build any of those things, we need to gather up a lot of resources for this farm. So I'm going to get cracking on that, and then we'll come back and we'll build this together. So while I'm sneaking into some secret room, I thought I might take some time to ask you guys to subscribe. You see, only 4.7% of all the viewers are subscribed, and the other 95.4 ain't. Come on, subscribe. Maybe you can see what's in that secret room. I know you want to. So we've gathered up all the resources we need for this build, and I think the first thing we need to do is maybe just head on over to the site and just run through the process of creating clay from cobble. So how do we get terracotta from cobblestone? So first of all, our cobble gen is going to create cobble, and we're going to run that through a crushing wheel twice. The first time we're going to get some gravel, but the second time we will get sand, and 2 byproducts are clay balls and flint. And then what we do then is we need to wash the sand, and the sand that we wash will then become clay balls as well. Then we take those clay balls, we compact them with a press in a basin, and that will give us a block of clay. And a block of clay we just bake using lava and an encased fan, and that will give us terracotta. And it's easy, just like that. So I think we need to start planning, and the first thing we're going to do is place down the storage areas. So the first thing I want to do is plan out the storage. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the cobble come in from that side, run into the factory on this side, and I'm going to leave, let's say, 2 over there. And then we're going to do the same. It's just a 5 by 3 volts. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like this, and just another one this side. So that's where our 2 volts are going to go, and we can just place these down on top of this. So these 2 volts will be storing our cobble, and from here we'll crush the cobble down to gravel and then to sand. So I think we need to come out a total of 7 blocks. So if this is the center, that's where we will take it from. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we'll do another vault over here, and then exactly the same on this side. So that should be in the right place. Before I connect these 2 volts together, I think we first need to put in the contraptions in the center here, the belts and the crushers, just to make sure that we left enough space between these two. So first of all, we're going to come out with our shafts, and we're going to place one there and one here. Going to leave one gap, and we're going to place the second one there, and then one over here as well. Then we're just going to connect those up like that, and this like this. And I can already notice I placed this down too low, so we're just going to lift that up, and we're just going to do that. So now items can flow into those as well. Now we need to put in actual crushing wheels. So we'll have a funnel over there, and then I think the first crushing wheel should sit right in this spot over here, and this will be turning the cobble into gravel. And then we're going to leave one more space, and then we'll do another set which will be turning the gravel into sand, and that will go into there. So now we can just place one over there, and then we're going to have a little gap again, and then we're going to have crushing wheels on top of those again, and we're just going to repeat it on this side and 2 more times on that side as well. So now that we have all the crushing wheels in, we have the belts connected, we can go ahead and connect these bolts up. But before we do that, let's put in the stands, and I'm going to do one over there, and we can just connect all of these up. Same again on this side, 1, 1, and just connect them up. And this now should be a 9 long vault, which is the maximum we can go. There we go. So this is the vault where we will be saving in our clay, our sand, as well as some flint, which the flint we will take out again for a future project. But the clay and the sand will start over here. So now that we have these items all stored up, we need to turn the sand into clay. And the best way will be to bring the sand out maybe over here on the back, run it against this back wall, get it washed in this little area over here. I think that will be a door, so maybe in front of that. And then just have it stored over here before it goes through this little process, which we'll get to when we get there. But let's first get in some belt work and just make sure we have everything where it's supposed to be. Okay, so now we've got the belt work in, and let me just show you. So on this little point over here, we'll take the sand out, and the sand will go onto this belt and then run this way over here. And in this point, more or less, we will wash it. But the other belt over here, we're going to use that to transfer the flint out of this factory, as well as the clay balls, because we don't want the clay balls to clog up the sand line. So what we're going to do instead, the clay balls are going to come out, it's going to get picked up by a drawer over here somewhere and get sent to the storage that we'll have in this area via drawer trims and storage drawers. And that's also the same way we're going to get the clay from that factory all the way into this factory. But I think the first thing we need to do maybe is just set up that drawer system and the storages over there as well as here, and then we'll take it from there. Okay, so all the drawers have been connected. So as soon as items come out here, they'll go onto this belt. This drawer will automatically pick up all the clay and the flint that goes past, and the sand will just continue over here. Then I marked out a little spot over here, and this is where the washing of the actual sand will happen. So I'm not sure if I'm just going to do a row of fans on top, or if I should do another row at the back as well, so make it double the speed. We can just have like a little barrier to ensure that the water doesn't push us back and so forth. But then when it goes from here to over here, in this spot I want to have a drawer, so all our clay balls will end up in this spot over here, and then from here we can extract it and go this way for the first process, and then this way for the baking process, and then over here we might have the final storage of the terracotta. But I think the next thing we need to do is first figure out this whole washing system, so let's grab a few resources. So before we build the washer, I just want to show that this is where the clay balls are going to go, and we have a controller unit over there, and we also hooked up the clay pit, but currently there's nothing showing over here, and that's maybe because there's still one more connection we have to do, but let's first test it. So underneath the clay pit, we've got this trim running all the way over there, and we have a few drawer control slaves just to make sure it all connects. But if we throw a clay ball in there, that gets picked up. And let's go see if it's in the storage. And there we have it. Now that number is 1. So we know the system's working. So the last thing to do is just to add a funnel over there. And then the clay balls will just start stockpiling over here. And there you can see the numbers climbing, which means the whole system works. So now we're already pulling clay balls from the clay pit over there into this area. And I think it's full. So we need to upgrade already. But that's latest problem. So next thing, we're going to build this little washing system. So now for the washing system, we need items to slowly move through here all the way to there. And in this area, they need to be washed. So I'm just going to place a temporary block over there. And the nice thing about leaves, we can waterlog them and the water will just stay inside them. So we can actually have the leaves over there and those will be waterlogged. And then on the back, we can just do our in-case fans. We're just holding down shift to make sure they're facing that way. So that will be the fans blowing this way. But like I mentioned, we don't want to be blown away. So what we're going to do is we're going to just add a temporary block over there, shift click, and we're going to do a copycat panel right over there. So now what we can do is we can just extend these and we can apply material to them like glass. And that should ensure that we don't get blown backwards. But now what I want to do is I also want to take the time to add 2 more blocks of gravel over there. And we're going to do leaves on top like so. And on top of those leaves, we're just going to put fans facing downwards as well. So now we have a total of, what is that, 10 fans washing the sand going through here, which should help to speed up the process. But again, this is another passive little farm. We don't use terracotta that much, but it will be nice if we can create some terracotta passively. Then we do have it. So I think the next thing we need to do is quickly just waterlog these, and then we're done with this part and we can move on to the next part. And now we have the leaves waterlogged, so we just need to give it power. But before we do that, I think we should move on to the next little part, which will be right over here. Now that we have the washers in, the next step will be turning the clay balls into clay blocks. And first of all, we're going to do a little drawer over here and just chuck a clay block on that. So that's where the clay blocks will be stored. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little belt over here. And for now, I'm just going to do 2 belts. This thing is actually wide enough to do 3 belts. But I noticed with the gold farm over there that the press really works fast enough that we might not need 2 presses to convert the balls into blocks, but that all depends on the new washing system. So for now, we're going to do 1 belt, and like I mentioned, if we need another, we can always just do that. So just a little mistake I noticed, this is too short. We need to have it at least 4 long, so we're just going to rip this out. We're going to grab these 2 trims and we're just going to stack them there. Then we can chop up this block, put that drawer there, and we can just move all of this over by 1. So we can have this right over there. And now that should be more than enough for us to get items out of this drawer, into this basin, and then into this chest over here. How are we going to do that? We're going to add a drawer control over there. We're going to have a brass funnel over there, a normal funnel over here, and another normal andesite funnel over there. And then this one we can just change to say only put out 16 at a time, and that way we will have 16 come in, we'll have the press pushing them down, and it'll go into this drawer over here. But the most important part, we need to add our press, and we can just shift right click on that, and there we go. There we have our press, and that's that for this little area. So now for the cooking of the clay blocks, we're going to have the clay go out through over here, and on this side we might only do 1 additional belt over there, and then we'll have the lava right above those blocks over there. So we know the lava needs to be 1 block above these blocks, so I'm just going to do a double row like this, and that's just so we can put some copycat blocks over there, additional copycat blocks over there, 1 over here, and then some encased fans on the backside, which will then allow us to bake everything in this direction. And now we can rip out these blocks, but we'll also have to add a block at the bottom for a base over here. And I think we should do something maybe like obsidian or something that really makes it look sturdy. I ended up opting for a block of industrial iron just because I think it looks neat, and we can just do it like that. And now we can just add the lava into that, and that should blow all that heat this way and bake the clay we have passing through. But the clay needs to go onto a belt, so we're just going to do that and that. Do andesite funnel over there, do a brass funnel over there, and we're just going to bring this down to 16 again, just to ensure that they go at a sturdy speed. I forgot, this funnel also needs to be a brass funnel because we need to be able to put a filter on there to say only accept the blocks once they become terracotta. So we're going to say terracotta and terracotta. So that's where our terracotta will go. And this should be the entire process, all the way from cobble to sand, from sand to clay, clay to clay blocks, and clay blocks to terracotta. So I think the thing I need to do next is quickly add the lava over there, add all the funnels and all the filters and everything, make sure we've got a storage space for the flint because we do have one for the clay balls, and then I'll bring you guys back. So we've added all the funnels, we've hooked all the power up, and everything's working perfectly. And because we had some clay balls in the system from the clay pit over there, it's been running and it's been taking those clay balls, slowly compacting them into clay blocks, which we have over here, which is also starting to pile up because the terracotta is already full and we haven't added an upgrade there. But the one thing we haven't done is we have not added a funnel over there to bring cobble into this area. So this part of the contraption is not working yet. So let's quickly fly over there. And if we just plonk a funnel over there, cobble will fly out. It will go all the way over here where we set this tunnels to round robin to ensure that they go both ways, and these will slowly start to fill up, and these will process all that cobble, and we should be getting sand coming through. Currently the sand is set to only allow one block out, and that's because I want to slowly tweak this and make sure that I find the right amount that goes out. So we've got everything working. We've got sand flowing in, we've got flint going into storage areas, we've got terracotta being made, which I would say is quite a success. It's not the most super duper efficient farm, but it will do. It will slowly make all the terracotta we'll ever need in this world. And even though we've got working contraptions creating the terracotta, we still have no building around this factory. And with that said, I think it's time for us to build the factory. So sit back and enjoy as we roll a little montage. It's finally finished, and boy, this build took way longer than any of the other builds to finish, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because of more detail or what, but let's take a tour. So first of all, remember there will be another structure in this area, but as you approach, we have some containers over here. I am not sure how I feel about them yet. I like them. I just don't know if they work in this space, but this will also maybe change due to the building that's coming in this area. But if we run up this side over here, we've got this little lean-to structure, or this flat roof structure on the side, and what's in here is just basically some of the power components and also a way for me to get down to the power parts. But we will neaten this up, maybe decorate it a bit, because we had to save some space. A lot of these are just trapdoors that we just built the structure out of, so there you can see. And then as we come over here, I've used these iron train holes and I put it like on little iron supports and just did this whole little smokestack, so it looks like a little generator or power engine, and we have some smoke coming out of it. I do wish you could get those in grey, but sadly that's what we got. And then over here another road. So all of this will change when we do some terraforming, because I do like the red sand, but I think it's just a bit too red, so we might change it up a bit and modify. But I'm thinking about streaming that sometime. And then again, just some bushes, barely there, just dying and coming out of the spot. And then we've got the cobble going in, and if we head inside, we have like this normal roof with the glass inlays just to give it some light. We've got the washer. We are going to revisit this, but I'm not going to do it on camera. And then up there, I thought, why not utilize that space and just add like a little deco in here, and then we can just add some storage on that. And things have been running for quite a while. We've got 30,000 terracotta already, which is not bad. But enough about that, let's head up here. And if you run up here, we have our crushing wheel system with everything running, and it's just another little catwalk to see what's going on this side and just see the whole building. But in back here, we still apparently need a door. But if you come down this door, we're at the back of the building where we've got another little lean-to roof. We just have some chests stacked all up, but we've got this little building over here. And this is just where our flint's going. And as you guys can see, we've got quite a lot of flint already. I do think, yeah, we're going to have to add another storage upgrade to this real soon. Let's maybe quickly do that. Let's give it two. Let's do an emerald one over there, and we can do an emerald one over there, and we can remove all of those, I think. Let's do that. Perfect. I will decorate this a bit more, and also this is just a temporary little storage. We will use that in the future, then we'll transport it away somewhere else. But that's it. That's the decoration on this side. On this side, we just have a tree thing going because there's not a lot going to happen over here. But I love this build as well. I do like it. I think my favorite part has to be that thing over there, and just all the steel jutting out of it. But something I really want to show you guys real quick, and I don't know how we're going to let's go on up to here, because then we'll be able to go a bit higher. But just look at the structures. So now just imagine all of this starts getting terraformed, and we tie all of this in together. I have an idea for a build in that area over there, and also something in this area. But I would like to maybe expand over to this side. I'll have to see. And then I'm thinking of closing it all up and making it like some form of industrial compound. But that's all plans, that's all ideas, that's all thoughts. So yeah, that's the build. But yes, that's the build. That's the little terracotta farm. So down in the comments, let me know, what do you think of the terracotta farm, and what do you think of that little engine next to the side? I think it's my favorite part of that build. And even the little back room with the fire escape, I just love it. So down in the comments, let me know. So we're back here at the supporter tunnel, and it's time to say thank you to this week's 4 subscribers that's been part of the community, giving feedback, giving advice, and just being there, just enjoying the videos. And they are Clockwork Giant, The Modern Ninja, Astro Coffee Demon Cafe, and Highfeld Kit. Thank you to you for supporting, and to all the other subscribers that have been supporting. Remember, just continue commenting, liking, and being part of the community, and then who knows, maybe you'll make it to the tunnels next. But also, just want to mention, if I do mispronounce any names, sorry. But while we're here, I also want to show you guys, I actually extended this tunnel all the way, and I was just bored one night and thought, oh well, I don't feel like building, so let's just continue the tunnel, and it goes on forever. So I don't know how long it's going to take to fill this, but what I do like about this is this area where it looks like it crumbled and it just disappeared, and we can see it right from over there. So now we've got that part neatened up, which should motivate us to fix that, where I've also received quite some nice suggestions. But enough about that, let's head on back to the Mesa. But this has been a fun episode. I really enjoyed it, and if you guys would like to ask a question or anything about this build or this episode, then head on over to Discord, link in the description, where we will have a discussion tab open for anybody that has any questions, comments, or even recommendations in regards to the build. But till next time, thank you for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next episode. Bye for now.